On this week's edition of Second Fan of the Night, what we're looking at here today is a Hunter Passport 2 ceiling fan. It's in the white finish paired with a set of white blades. It's a 3-speed electrically reversible fan, and it dates to sometime around the second quarter of 1998. And it also uses a 172 by, I want to say, 15 or so spinner motor. These fans right here were a Home Depot exclusive, as this is basically their take onto the Passport series. And yeah, let me go ahead and show you the fan. Obviously, it's got pointed tip blades, and then here's the Hunter logo here on the switch housing. This Hunter fob I added for kicks, and then the date code is right up here. And then it's got filigree sideband all around it, and it's got the Hunter logo embroidered in the sideband. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start this fan on low, and I'll explain more about it. So this fan does have a messed up pull chain fob, or pull chain. It's got the it's got the chain kind of, not whatever you call that, hanging off the fan. I actually got this fan right here from my local Restore, and I spent probably a little over 20 bucks on this thing. It came 100% complete, even including its mounting system, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just using temporary mounting on this fan and such. The Passport 2 was a Home Depot exclusive Hunter, and these were pretty common. They came in white, I believe white and brass, bright brass, and antique brass. I know the bright brass is pretty much one of the common ones you see. I mean, these are pretty common, so they're not necessarily rare by any means whatsoever, but they are getting harder and harder to find, as you don't typically see these a lot anymore like you used to in the 90s and 2000s. The original Passport was a 4-bladed pointed tip ceiling fan, and then they evolved into the Passport 2, which was a 5-bladed pointed tip ceiling fan. The Passport 3 is basically an upgraded version of this, but with squared tip blades and low profile style arms and a more rounded style switch housing. And it uses an AirMax motor. Now this version doesn't use an AirMax motor, but the last year of production of this particular model did, which those are pretty uncommon for the most part. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just crank this fan to medium and see what this fan does. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with that switch housing, so please excuse that. But this fan right here is pretty childhood to me, as I used to actually see a lot of these growing up. There is an install of this particular fan that has intrigued me for many of years. It is in New Orleans. There is a fudge place in the Riverwalk Mall. I don't know if it's still there to this very day, but this place was called the Fudgery. They had 2 of these up on probably, say, about a 20-foot high ceiling. There was 2 of these literally side by side one another. There may have been a 2 or 3 inch clearance between each tip of the blades, but that install was by far one of my favorite installs of this fan. And they ran them non-stop. I believe they ran them on either medium or high, and it was right over the kettles of this particular Fudgery. And I've always loved this fan. I've always loved the look of it. I mean, the filigree, the generic vents, all of it. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and take this fan to full blast and see what she does. And this thing is a pain in the ass when it does the speed sequence. Only because of that pull chain. And that's actually how I got it from the restore. So whoever had this fan before me, it was probably in a business or something like that, and they just left the fan without a regular pull chain. I may end up fixing that at some point, or just using a different fan to use parts off of, which I kind of did in this case because the original blades to this, the grommets were pretty fucked on it. So I'm just doing it with the blades off my Summer Breeze, which honestly are the same kind of blades, so it really doesn't even matter. And the high speed is pretty decent on these fans. Like, this thing actually puts out a decent breeze for what it is. And there's kind of another side profile of it again, just running. Beautiful fan. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and turn it off and do spin down. And these fans look good with any kind of really either spotlight, single fitter, or four-arm fitter. And this marks the third different series by Hunter that I have with the pointed tip blades, as I got a Summer Breeze, this one, and now I have a Mayfair, one of the original Mayfairs, and I also have its sister fan, which is a Piedmont. The Piedmont is basically this exact same fan, but with wingtip blades. So that right there was a Lowe's exclusive, while the Passport 2 was a Home Depot exclusive. So a little bit of tidbit of information about that. But yeah. Anyways, you folks pretty much get the gist of it from here. This is Ginger Fan Studios here. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a great day and take care.